record, I always like to make sure that people know you're looking at me, which is the number one rule, which is great. You got great sound. I always like to just give people a little overview of how it's going to go, so people don't get nervous during the year.
Understood.
Tomorrow, Governor Cuomo is going to talk, and a big portion of the speech is rumored anyway. You never know with these things, but it's rumored anyway to be about further legalizing it in the state medicinally, and then with a bridge to recreational. And I just want to talk about that. I also want to talk about this portion of your business a little bit.
It's very important to my cause, too.
Yeah, and it absolutely is. Yeah. So this might take a little bit longer than I thought. I'm thinking 15 minutes tops.
Fine.
I don't want to take away from your business.
We're
I know
good.
You just had
I generally close right around now, and we're fine, not to worry.
Great. Okay, so we're going to go. Let me make sure. Ooh, that would have been very bad, and people would have laughed at me. So try to move around as much as you want, but try and stay pretty much right where you are.
Gotcha.
You look great. This is what you look like. You look good. Those glasses are actually really cool. I like them a lot. Great. Okay, so, and just a heads up, I'm going to shoot around the office when we're done here just for a couple of minutes.
No problem.
Great.
I love it.
Red light means we're on the record.
Okay.
If I could just get you to say and spell your entire name.
Okay, my name is Gary Colmey, Garycolmey.
And then, can I just put L-I-C-N-Y?
Mm-hmm.
And what does L-I stand for?
I am the founder of the Cannabis Legalization Initiative.
Okay.
Legalize It, CNY.
Okay.
And we shorten it to LICNY.
Tomorrow it's rumored that the governor is going to talk about the legalization of marijuana. It's already happened in a number of states, most recently Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's taken so long to happen in a state that views itself as a progressive leader?
Well, you know, we have to look back at our failure to follow through last year, and it was infighting about what to do with the tax money, and that was pretty much the breadth of it. That was pretty much the holdup. You know, we started with the governor having the health department do that study that they did, and then he sent people out for the listening sessions, and I spoke at a few of those. So a lot of research was done, a lot of T's were crossed and I's were dotted, and it looked like, you know, we were a go. Right up until the very end, when they started, you know, deciding how the beans were going to be divided and how they're going to count the tax money. For in my view, in the view of the members of LICNY, that's absolutely the least important reason to legalize it there is to us. What are you going to do with the tax money? And further, there is absolutely no way there will ever be positive quorum and happiness on whatever they do. There's no way that people will ever be happy with taxes collected on cannabis or anything. But they really got mired up in the argument about who's going to get it. Communities of color, you know, who have been most negatively affected by the drug war, cannabis in particular, certainly deserve more. It's my position that they might have asked for too much, that we have to be realistic, and I remind those representatives like Crystal People-Stokes and you know, some of the ones that in the Drug Policy Alliance that represent those communities of color, that what they ended up with was nothing. So we need to bend, you know, and we need to find a happy medium somewhere. Probably the most important issue to me and the members of my group, we have discovered through this whole process, and it wasn't how we started out, but is home cultivation. Because without home cultivation, we may end up with nothing but a government-sanctioned framework that says you buy the cannabis we grow, you buy what we grow, you buy where we tell you to grow, and we'll tell you what's going to be in it and what's not going to be in it, and you'll pay the price that we say. The governor has gotten together with other neighboring states, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and New Jersey, and in that meeting there were also representatives from Massachusetts and Colorado there, which is encouraging. And again, you mentioned things are rumored, you know, and that's all we have right now is rumors. We don't know what they're going to come up with. So it's encouraging that he got together with those states, and they're trying to come up with some framework that says we can all work together. It occurs to me that we're probably going to see with legalization, both medical and recreational, some kind of price parity, because they all agree that they prefer that we don't cross state lines to get our cannabis, and I agree that's probably not the best approach either. So that being said, without the home cultivation component, even patients still won't be able to afford their medicine. So that's, and then there's the freedom. We are not free, and we're not, as far as I'm concerned, decriminalized or legalized until we can drop a seed in a pot and grow a plant responsibly, not to have a pot factory in our house, but to cultivate a seed for our own use. At that point, we'll be free, and I'm sure that market that they set up will thrive no matter what they do. But to go back to answering your question, why didn't it happen? Infighting over money.
It's been successful in a lot of states, less so in Washington State actually, but it's still successful, but less so in Washington State. But do you think that it had to happen somewhere else first to show New York State how to do it for us to get it done?
It's a tough question to answer. I don't know where we'd go
Just
with
in
it.
your opinion, you know?
Well, it did. California, what was it, Prop 19 or so? I forget, but the original one, the original medical one, kicked the door open. So we've had that to look at. I think that probably had less to do with what New York is about to do or has done than Massachusetts. I was just there Sunday. 48 hours ago, I was buying cannabis legally in Massachusetts, along with all the other New Yorkers who were there. I have a lot of friends who live in Massachusetts. They kind of laugh at us, and they thank us. Thank you for coming to Massachusetts today and dropping a couple $100 in sales tax. Oh, I don't go there. I grow my own. That's what my friends in Massachusetts tell me. I don't buy that stuff. I grow my own. It's too expensive.
People who are against recreational legalization, home growing legalization, and even the lessening of medical legalization say that it's going to flood our streets with marijuana, it's going to increase crime rates, it's going to be a gateway drug to harder things. You head this group, so what is the group's response to that?
The group's response to that, those are all lies that have not happened in any of the 11 other states that have done it, and that's just reefer madness talk. Those things are not true. They have not happened, and they're patently false. I can take them one at a time if you want.
No,
but I know them all. I mean, I can go
it.
every single one.
What would you say about the other? What are the other arguments against it? Because it seems like for medical use, the for at least THC, the medical components it's not debatable. Like it is a medicinal thing. Like it is something that eases pain. And
our government says it has no medical use, but our government holds a patent on it. So which is it, government? But it's this goes back to the same arguments. Look, I can name all the arguments, but they're all false. And that's the thing about cannabis legalization. It sits on a foundation of lies. It always has, right from its very inception, from the time Harry Anslinger enacted the Hemp Act or the Marijuana Tax Act, rather, that essentially made it illegal because it was a tax act and you couldn't grow or possess cannabis without a tax stamp, but you couldn't buy one anywhere. It's never been about the dangers of the plant. The plant has been a beneficial plant. We have hundreds of years of it in both our pharmacopoeia and in other countries' pharmacopoeia. It's been used for thousands of years. So, I mean, I could go down every argument, but I just suffice to say, and I'm happy to do that, and I do it a lot. But they're all false. They're literally all false. It's never been about the plant. It's been about keeping one demographic group down or keeping them under control. And we can look out, through history from the very first points when it became illegal to which group it was. The group changes over time, but it's never, ever been about the weed or the dangers of it.
What would be the social impact of a full legalization of marijuana in the state of New York?
Well, you don't have to look very much further than Massachusetts, which, again, I was there a couple days ago because I do have family there. So I visit frequently. Pretty much nothing. It's already here. Part of the fallacy is that if we do this, something new is going to be here. It's already here. We're just moving it from one supply chain to another supply chain. Certainly, it's true that more people will try cannabis and under a legal framework. And those people, in my opinion, in my experience, aren't the people who just want to get high, who feel they want to get high. Those people already do. Nothing stopped them. Nothing has ever stopped them. But the increased use will be people for wellness and as medicine. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Let's talk business for a second.
Sure.
The state of Illinois made $11 million
Sure.
2 days ago when their cannabis shops opened for the first time. What do you think the effect on the New York State economy might be?
It'll be huge. It'll be huge because you're gonna. I mean, you just answered it. What do you think it will be? Look at not just Illinois, every other state that's put together a legal recreational adult program. Look at what they're doing in Colorado and Washington and Nevada and Oregon. It's a huge influx of money, and there should be conversations about how to spend it, but it shouldn't get so argumentative that you throw the whole thing out because of it.
What about for you? Because I've noticed that you have a small head shop, but mostly it's a growing facility.
And Gigs is part of my music store. Gigs, Gary's Indoor Garden Supply, is a little section of Gary's music. I mean, Walmart sells groceries and tires. I sell saxophones and grow supplies. It's a good fit for me. I did this just out of passion, for the plant and to help people to grow their own medicine. So we talk about tomatoes and we do what we do. It's been a joy, and it's also been business-wise a lifesaver for me. I think I alluded to earlier, because the music retail business I've been involved in for over 30 years is suffering greatly in the face of internet competition. That's normal. That's what every mom and pop shop, no matter what they sell, is facing. So to me, to bring on the grow supplies, it's something I know a little bit about, so I can serve my customers with a good knowledge base. And then up front, I sell a lot of CBD products too. I was selling CBD here a couple of years before anybody knew what it even stood for, and all these stores opened up. I was selling CBD honey sticks I brought in from Colorado, to help people with.
What kind of impact? I mean, you alluded to it, but what kind of impact has selling the grow supplies had on your business?
Moderate, because I look forward to a possible law change where people can legally do it, and I definitely sense that when people can legally do it, they will. They definitely will. When I can put a picture of myself in the paper standing next to some beautiful cannabis plants and then say, this is what an ounce of cannabis is going to cost you in the legal stores, and here's what you can grow it for. I really feel that there'll be an opportunity there. What I'm realistic to, people will buy all those things off the internet as well.
The reason I'm asking about it is because I'm not saying you did this consciously, but you're obviously ready for a legalization, and I feel like if it does become recreational legalized, if you're allowed to grow a plant, however it looks, as long as you're allowed to grow it, this part of your business is going to expand.
Maybe not. When we look at other states that have, the fact that people grow explodes, but do grow shops explode too? Again, this is retail. There's a whole generation of people, again, who buy other things I sell on the other side of the store. It doesn't occur to them to go to a store to buy things. So this is not a given. I'll expand on it a little bit. And by the way, I'm 65. I'm probably not going to work only a couple more years anyway. So anybody that says, you've got more skin in the game, you're going to bust open. No, I'm not. I'm going to close this in a couple of years no matter what. And hopefully, my goal would be to quietly maybe run a little small grow operation or work as a consultant, just to go from house to house, to grow and help people.
But it would open up, I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you're trying to get rich on this.
No, I understand.
Please don't take it that way. I guess my point is, though, it would open up a marketplace that doesn't yet exist, a legal marketplace that doesn't yet exist in
legal marketplace, because I go to cannabis, centered conventions where all the manufacturers of all the grow supplies and nutrients and everything that around the cannabis industry are there, and it's just as strong in the states that aren't legal. Not on an industrial scale. When a supplier is selling, $10,000 dehumidifiers for your grow room, okay, I'm not going to sell those anyway. But as far as the ones that serve I like to call them, my customers, the closet cultivators, the people that grow 10 plants and under for their personal use, they're already doing it.
Can I get some nuts and bolts with you?
Yeah.
How much will one plant well taken care of by a amateur green thumber, how much will that yield?
Well, that's a loaded question because it depends on what the strain is. Depends on if it's an autoflower or a seed that a plant that finishes from start to finish in 9 weeks versus one that takes 16 to 18 weeks. Depends on if you're indoors or outdoors. How well are you? How well are you equipped? Is your grow room well funded? Even do you have incoming air, outgoing air circulation, temperature, humidity control, using good nutrients, good growing medium, and good clean sanitary organic practices? All those. So anywhere on one plant from less than an ounce to 2 pounds. I mean, I've seen both.
Wow.
Yeah.
What am I missing here? What am I leaving out?
Well, let's see. I took a couple.
You took some notes for me.
Yeah. Well, just about his budget. Okay. I see nothing in his official advance, the governor's official page that even mentions cannabis at all. So I'm a little concerned there. But yeah, we've heard on and off that he wants to prioritize this year. I know that people in my group are very anxious. The patients are very anxious because they want flower. They want plant material. They're not getting it. The patients are very anxious because they can't afford what they do get. The casual users, the wellness users are anxious as well because they're tired of being criminalized and tired of looking over their shoulders in their place of work and worried about drug tests. The growers are anxious because they're tired of being criminals when they're just, and my grower customer base, surprisingly to me, almost all of them are over 50, and many of them are over 60 and 65. None of these people are growing cannabis to get high. They're growing cannabis to get a good night's sleep or to mitigate some pain or to get through their days of, pain and discomfort. So, our battle cry is always freedom with this. Freedom to grow the plant and to engage the plant as we see fit, as responsible adults. No one in my group that favors this freedom wants it in the hands of kids. Everyone understands what safe, responsible use is. No one wants us to be any less safe on the roads. But we want the freedom to use the plant like any other plant, and I think we deserve that. That's our demand. That's not a request. And any legislation that comes through without that, we're going to fight like hell against it. If it doesn't include home grow, we want no part of anything. We've waited long enough.
Best case scenario, what does this look like? Legalization, what does it look like?
The best case scenario?
Yeah.
Well, the best case scenario, we have examples of it. We won't get this. What Colorado did, was to, and it was one of my points when I was at the public speaking sessions that the governor held, was to award way more licenses than you think you'll need. Let people in with a minimum qualifications and a minimum investment. Make sure that the product is safe on the way out, and let good old-fashioned competition decide who succeeds and who fails. People with good business plans who grow good cannabis that people want to buy and then buy it again will succeed, and the ones that don't will fail. But meanwhile, the pricing will be affordable for people. This is why people are I don't do it, I tell people to do it. I tell them, yeah, see me when you do. But when you get that envelope that you had mailed from Denver or from wherever it is, it shouldn't be worth it to buy cannabis products in Denver, ship them here and charge 4 times what you paid in Denver, and still be half of what it costs here.
When you buy it legally.
Yeah, when you buy legally, right.
Just a couple more questions, and then I promise you I'll leave.
We're good. I hope you use a lot. That's the
What's
thing.
what's the name of the? Well, government's not getting back to me, so this whole story is going to be all you.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
What's the name of the podcast?
Just the LICNY podcast.
LICNY podcast. How can people find it?
On the LICNY Facebook group, or the Gary Colmy, or the LICNY YouTube channels. They're all on the Gary Colmy YouTube channel because I started them last year. I'm beginning to move them over to the LICNY YouTube channel. But people are most used to looking at it on my name channel, so that's where most people do watch it. There are a lot of people that belong to our group who can't say so. There are a lot of people who in our group who say, I have many family members who log on with my name because of where they work. So although we have nearly 1,200 members, that's a drop in the bucket compared to how many people are actually utilizing what we do. And with good reason. I hold those people in high regard, that they support us and they like us, but they have high security jobs, or they work for banks, or they work for any job in federal government. I get it.
What's the worst case scenario for this thing if it does get legalized?
The worst case if it does get legalized?
Yeah, what's the worst case? Like, so it gets legalized, and a lot of advocates say any legalization is good legalization, but that can't be true. Because
no, it isn't, because decrim hasn't been good either. For 90% of it, the fact that a few people get their records expunged is a good thing. But decrim is smoke and mirrors. It says you can have a little, but you can't have over a certain amount, and it just makes no sense whatsoever. The worst case scenario to me, that would be the worst case scenario when they did legalize. So you're talking about under a legalized result, would be total government control of it. No home grow, and you have to buy where we say to buy and what we say to buy. We will control the potency. We will control everything about it. All that will do will basically say to the black market, yay. And Massachusetts will say, yay, keep them coming. Because that's what we're going to do. I think I timed it from the closest dispensary crossing the Massachusetts border, leaving Albany. I think it's about 32 minutes. So it's already legal in the state capital. You know what doesn't realize what state it's in? The weed. It doesn't care. And I got news for you, and you do the people who buy it in Massachusetts. Because like I said, I've been 8, 9 times already. My wife's a patient. It's almost all New York plates, in Massachusetts. Massachusetts says, we don't need this. We grow it, At least in my circles they do. And Massachusetts will tell you, they'll report the same kind of numbers Illinois did. They're raking it in.
2 more questions. Is this a social justice issue?
For some people. It's not something I've seen. It's not something I've experienced, but I did spend a few days with Drug Policy Alliance in Albany last year and listen to what they had to say. And I get some pushback from some of my upstaters whose skin color is the same as mine. But those whose skin color is not the same as mine are lying, and I get it. I get it. When you listen to enough of them talk, when you listen to what their life experiences have been, generation after generation, hell yeah, it's a social issue. It's a big one.
I always ask this, so my last question, any interview I do, from toys to marijuana,
Sure.
my last interview, what message do you want to get out there? What did I miss? What didn't I ask you? Anything you want to say, you have an open forum.
I'll say the same thing. It's our mantra. It's the F word, freedom. Freedom. If we get that, the freedom for, American humans to grow a plant responsibly as they see fit, all the other things should fall into place correctly. Without that, all the other components are rife, seem to be rife with at least the potential to be corrupt. Freedom to grow the plant, freedom to cultivate the plant keeps everybody honest. When you walk into a dispensary where you can also grow cannabis, that dispensary knows you better sell me something clean, you better sell me something that's good at a price I can afford, because I can do this myself. And just the knowledge that you can keeps everybody honest. So again, freedom. It's all about freedom.
We are off the record.
Thank you.